Greetings. My name is Letitia Hensley, and I'm the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools Director of Family and Community Engagement. We are excited that you are joining us today and know you will gain great insight from this session. At the conclusion of today's session, please provide feedback so that we can continue to support you with amazing sessions that will be provided throughout the year. Now, without further ado, we'll turn it over to our presenters.
Good morning, CMS families. Thank you for joining us today for the Back to School Basics Everything Open House series. I hope that everyone's day is going wonderfully and we are excited to engage with you. Please take a moment to sign into today's session so that we know who's been able to join us and we can stay connected with you moving forward. A few pieces of housekeeping. Today, we do have translation services on the call. In the top right-hand corner, please select Captions. And then from there, you'll select Show Live Captions. And then the language of your choosing from the drop-down. For language support, please select Captions, Show Live Captions. And from there, please select the language of your choosing from the drop-down. We are excited to engage with you on today's call. For any questions or wonderings, please feel free to drop a question in our Q&A section at the top of your screen. From there, a text box will open and we will be monitoring the Q&A section and have a Q&A opportunity at the end of the session where we will answer your questions and make sure that you are prepared as we move through the school year. If you have any aha moments or are excited, new learning or wonderings, please react and feel free to engage with us. We are excited that you are here and I hope that today's information meets your needs and provides that new learning and understanding to be prepared for the upcoming year. Today we have 4 fabulous Spotlight principals joining the call who are going to share their expertise and how to best connect and support your child as you engage in the open house and make sure that you are prepared with everything you need to know on such a busy day. Thank you so much to Principal Friday from Lawrence Orr Elementary, Principal French from Pineville Elementary, Principal McCulley from Hawk Ridge Elementary, and Principal Saxton from Highland Creek Elementary. Our 4 fabulous principals on the team do a great job of engaging their communities and connecting with their parents each and every day, and we are excited to have them share their expertise with us today. And at this time, I'll turn it over to Principal Saxton to get us started.
Well, hello, families. Good morning and happy almost first day of school. We are excited for you to join us today, and hopefully we can help you prepare for a very, very big, important day. Just wanted to start off with our CMS placemat, if you will. Our commitment is to excellence and to providing endless possibilities for your students. So here is a placemat. This is accessible, but this tells you about our mission, our vision, our goals, and what we're going to do to help you and your child meet their learning needs.
Good morning, CMS families. Christy McCauley here, principal at Hawk Ridge Elementary. Coming to you today to talk to you about the first day of school. Just a reminder, it is Monday, August 25th. Here on the screen, you will see the CMS academic calendar for the 25-26 school year. My suggestion for all families is to go to the Charlotte-Mecklenburg School website, type in calendars and pull up this calendar and bookmark it into your phone so that you have this information for the whole year to reference. On the left-hand side, you'll see key dates, which are going to be the 25-26 teacher work days, when the first day of school is, when are days that we have off for our Thanksgiving break, our winter break, when is spring break, when is the last day of school, when are quarter ends, and different things like that, so that you can keep up with days that kiddos are going to be off of school. And as a working mom myself, days that you're going to possibly need coverage for your students because they will not be in school. So it's very key to kind of have this to reference all school year. You'll also see on the left-hand side a key that's going to have different colors that you will be able to see throughout. On the right-hand side, the different calendars. So you'll see triangles that are blue for work days. You'll see circles that are green for annual leave days. You will see purple squares for holidays, days that we are off school. A diamond orange for early release days. There are only 4 of those days. On those 4 days, you will have early release. So we dismiss exactly 3 hours earlier than your regular dismissal time. And so you'll want to make sure that you know those 4 days as well, because they will be an early release pickup. If you are a bus rider, they get dropped off at the exact same time, just 3 hours earlier. Transportation's easy that way. But if you do daycare or other means of transportation, you would have to notify them to make sure that you are planned up for that. And then you'll also see a red stop sign, which is going to be the last days of the quarter. So you'll see quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and then quarter 4 being the last day of school as well. Some things to key highlight if you are a new parent, whether you're in pre-K or kindergarten, the calendar will be specific to your school, but note that first day of school will look a little different if you're a kindergartner or a pre-K because you have staggered entry days. So we want to make sure that if you're a pre-K student, the first 3 days of school, 25th, 26th, and 27th, are going to be home visits. So if you are in the pre-K program, make note of that. You will be contacted by your child's school to notify you when you are scheduled for your home visit. And then they will start staggered entry days for pre-K. They're proceeding the 28th, 29th, and then the 2nd of September, being that September 3rd will be the first day for all pre-K students. So that is something to take note of if you are a new pre-K family. If you are a new kindergarten family, the first 4 days of the school year are going to be staggered entry days. That's going to be the 25th, 26th, 27th, and 28th. Please take note of that. Schools do it differently. You may have it by last name, which would be your designated staggered entry date. Some schools do it by their birth date. That would determine their staggered entry date as well. And then if you are a kindergartner, that would be one day that you would attend on those 4. And then the first official day is going to be the 29th of August after they do their staggered entry. All right.
Thanks, Christy. My name is Bobby French. I'm principal over at Pineville Elementary School, home of the Smilers, the most ferocious mascot in all of Charlotte-Mecklenburg. I want to make sure that we talk about transportation as a elementary school principal and elementary school teachers. The most important thing that we're thinking about that day is how to make sure that all of our children get to school and from school safely and prepared, and making sure also that we're feeding them and giving them a happy moment. So on this page, you'll see just the different kind of directions of what we're encouraging you to do to notify us of transportation. The ridership form will allow you to request transportation. We did ask as a district that we try to get that in before August 1st, just to make sure you had transportation for that first day if you were riding the bus. However, you can still fill that form out. There just might be a delay between that sign up and assignment, which may take you a few days after school begins. So just wanted to make sure everyone's prepared for that as well. And of course, after school enrichment program is a great thing that we offer at our schools. That typically runs at Pineville. We know it goes till about 6 o'clock, and it gives families a good chance for them to be able to have some additional time getting tutoring and supports while families work those afternoons. But please connect with your child's school for all ways of transportation, making sure that we know exactly how your child is getting home. And on the next slide, we talked to you a little bit about Here Comes the Bus app. So this is a great tool if you are using the bus for your child to get to and from school. The app will track where your child's bus is, make sure that you know when the bus will arrive at your bus stop in the morning, and also when the bus will leave. Now, the biggest thing to note is those bus stop times that are in the morning. We always encourage all families to be out at that bus stop at least 15 minutes prior to the estimated time, just to make sure. Please don't rely on the app to run out of your house and get on the bus. We really encourage you to wait at the bus stop for that. But it does provide a great security measure for all of us to be able to watch the bus and see exactly when our child will be getting home in the afternoons and know of any delays or substitute buses that might be involved. So here are the directions that you can use to download that app. And now I'm going to turn it over to Miss Friday, who will be doing more information about parent and student handbook.
Good morning, everyone. I am Melanie Friday. I like to call myself the lead learner here at Lawrence Orr, where we are committed to excellence, driven to succeed. The Parent-Student Handbook is a valuable resource for families. The 2025-26 handbook is expected to be available on the CMS website sometime next week. This document is going to outline important school policies, procedures, expectations, and supports that are available to you and your scholar. You're encouraged to review it at the start of the school year and refer to it whenever questions arise. This document is going to include key information on attendance requirements, absence reporting, and academic and behavioral expectations. As Ms. McCauley said earlier, this may be something you want to bookmark in your phone so that you have access, or on your computer. Our next important topic is attendance. I want to go over our CMS attendance policy. Attendance matters because it has a direct correlation to student achievement. All the principals here have done a great job to curate a staff who is ready to teach your scholars when they arrive. The key is getting them in the door. If we get them there, we can make sure that they achieve great things in the classroom. Parents, your scholar's future is built one school day at a time. When students are at school every day, they keep up with their lessons. They're able to build strong skills, and they gain the confidence that they need to be successful. They're able to form lasting relationships and feel connected in the school community. Students who attend school regularly are more likely to stay on track for graduation and college and career opportunities post-graduation. And the numbers really tell the story here. Missing just 2 days a month of school adds up to over 18 days in a school year. So that's nearly 10% of the school year. Students who miss 10% or more of the year are 2 times less likely to read on grade level by 3rd grade. And they're also considered what we call chronically absent. And in high school, students who are chronically absent have 7 times more likelihood of dropping out of school. So school attendance is really critical. Those missed moments, class discussions, teacher feedback, hands-on activities, they can't be replaced by homework or makeup work alone. So your partnership makes a huge difference by making school attendance a top priority. You're giving your child the gift of consistency, learning, and opportunity. So together, let's make every day count for the success of all of our students. If your child is absent, if your child is sick or you have a family situation that prevents them from attending school, please report those absences as soon as possible so that we can code it correctly. Good news, CMS has made it really simple. We have a way you can report absences online. Each school's website has a place where you can click to report an absence. And this is Mr. French's page with Pineville Elementary School here. You just click on the report absence and it will guide you through some prompts to complete the short form so you can let your school know the reason why your child is not there. The quick reporting helps us to maintain accurate records. We can provide support for missed learning, and we're able to partner with you to keep your child on track for success.
Thank you, Ms. Friday. So we also want to kind of talk about what to expect in terms of assessments throughout the school year and what those look like and what's the purpose of all of those assessments. These assessments throughout the year help to gauge where our students are making progress so we can fine-tune our teaching to ensure that all students are receiving the individual progress that they need to reach their best selves. So the first test that's listed there is DIBELS. DIBELS is a test that's primarily given to kindergarten through third grade students. It's a one-on-one reading assessment that's given with your teacher or with a instructional lead within the school. My daughter always comes home on these days saying that this is a day that she got to read to someone new. And that's kind of how she feels about it. It doesn't feel like an assessment to her. During this test, you do a myriad of tasks. You might work on letter recognition. You'll identify those letters, identify the letter sounds. You'll take words that are what we call nonsense words and blend those words to see if you understand the different sounds that they make, and also practice fluency. So it's a great assessment for us to see how our children are reading. So then our teachers can go back into the classroom and pull small groups and individual tasks to support those students in becoming the best readers that we can hope for. The next assessment is iReady. Now this is given kindergarten through fifth grade in both math and reading and multiple times throughout the year. It's an adaptive test is what we call it. So based off of how students do, the questions either get harder or easier to find basically that just right point of how our students are learning and what they need from there. On the next page, we'll start talking about what you can do with that assessment. Oh, sorry, Ms. Rush, almost done. But from there, you can see a little bit there as well. MVPA is only given to our third through fifth grade students in literacy and math, and our fifth graders also take science. This test mirrors a lot of what students will do at the end of grade assessment and is a great predictor for us on how students are progressing towards those goals, so we can make adjustments before we hit that end of year test. And then WIDA. WIDA to our students who we call multi-language learners, those who are learning English. It's a way for us to assess their abilities on making progress towards those English goals. And then you'll also see that it says end of grade exams. In elementary school, we do EOGs, and high school and some middle school, there's EOCs. So those EOGs are those tests given in third, fourth, and fifth grade that really determine at the state level how we are doing and making progress toward meeting all the needs of our students. All right, Ms. Rush, on the next page, you can see some at-home resources that you can utilize to make sure that you're helping out with your student and understanding those test scores. You'll see where you can really hone in and figure out, okay, how is my child doing on iReady? What is it that I can be doing at home to support this DIBELS progress? These resources are all linked on the CMS webpage. If you go to CMS Families and then Learning at Home Resources, I believe it starts at Learning and Technology and then goes to this. Definitely encourage you to look through these. I do tell all my parents at home that I'm really hoping that our kids are getting outside, playing in dirt, and doing as many fun things after school so they can come to school learning. But these resources are also great for us to help continue to support our children too. So take a look at these when you get an opportunity. And I believe I'm turning it over to Ms. McCauley.
And Ms. McCauley, I believe you may be muted.
I do apologize for that. Thank you, Mr. French, for setting the foundation there for the assessments that we take as a school. You'll see here on this screen the scheduling expectations that each school is charged with creating a master schedule that incorporates all of these scheduling expectations. So every day that your child comes to school, they are going to have an English language arts block. If they are in K-5, they will have a module block, which is a direct instruction group of time where they are getting a lesson taught to them by the teacher. In K2, they would have 60 minutes of what's called skills block, where they will have differentiated instruction provided to them Usually that begins with a mini lesson that's going to be on a specific skill, and then they would move into some small group time where they will be practicing those skills. And the same for our all block, which is more of a differentiated time for students to practice some of those learned skills in the module block and or areas that they are also working to master. You will also find a math block of 90 minutes. Most schools break that down into about 60 minutes of a direct instruction sort of component with 30 minutes of also small group instruction. So you might find that is there. Sometimes it's in a full 90-minute block or broken down into the 60 and the 30. You will also find science and social studies. 30 minutes is required in K2 and 45 minutes is required in 3-5. A lot of schools can play that where they do science for a certain period of time and then switch off to do social studies. So you do have a little bit of flexibility for what your school needs, but the requirements still stand, and we are all charged with the same instruction that is to be had. Electives, some schools call it special area. There's connect classes, things like that. A lot of times this is something that your kids really look forward to. This is time for them to go to PE or physical education. They would go to the gym. They would have art. Some schools have a science elective. Some schools have technology as an elective, but everybody will have music, art, and PE. And then also a trip to the media center where they will be checking books out so that you have resources at home as well. All right. CMS has done a really fantastic job of creating resources. As Mr. French shared with you, those resources at home. This is also the curriculum that we are teaching within those instructional expectations. This is available to you as a parent on our CMS website. So you're going to see general elementary resources. If you are a pre-K parent, you're going to see a specific area for pre-K, and then of course kindergarten through 5th grade resources there. When you click on these links, you will see all the different components that we just talked about with our expectations of literacy, math, science, social studies, and you will see those areas that you can click on. And if you wanted to review what your child is going to be learning, this is an area for you to do that and have that at your fingertips. It's a great resource.
All right, so I'm back to talk to us a little bit about just how we can get involved in our schools and support our schools throughout the school year. We love volunteers at Pineville and across CMS. The volunteers really do help make sure that the work that our children are doing each day and that our teachers are doing can be supported and help everyone grow. On the screen, you'll see a few different options that every school has for you to get involved. The first one is our school improvement team. We often refer to that as our SIT team. These individuals collaborate with our staff and families, as well as the principal, to both support school goals and student success, and to dive in and help determine what those goals really should be for a school. Typically, this is a once-a-month meeting that really helps us to figure out what we can be doing, what action steps we need to be taking to be the best school that we possibly can be. You should definitely reach out to your principal if you're interested in that. One of the things that I love with our SIT team members is that they really get to see the behind the scenes work of the school and really understand what's happening. Our PTAs and PTOs are such a great resource for our schools, and we really encourage you to be involved in these. We always say that this type of organization is one where you can get involved as much or as little as you want, and really being a part of it gives you a voice in our school, a place where you can connect with other community members as well as our parents to really build the community that we want to see at our school. Now, every school has different other options to get involved and for volunteering, and we really encourage you to register as a volunteer. There's also kind of a nice perk to being a volunteer. We kind of call it like a TSA pre-check for our schools. So when you come to school events, it makes it so much easier to get in. You've already had your background check and you're ready to go. So you can kind of skip through that line and get right into the school if you're one of our volunteers. You also get to kind of know what's happening in the school as there's more messaging that comes out to those as well. So on the next slide, we have the ways to register for a volunteer. That link there will take you right to a site. It takes typically about 24 hours to go through the background check and get your access level. You'll see different access here, whether you're permitted to be supervised access without driving, or if you're able to drive, or things of that nature to be a volunteer. But all of that is on that website, and we really encourage you to register there. And I believe Mr. Saxton is next up to talk to us about a healthy school.
Absolutely. Thank you, Principal French. And, good, healthy learning starts with being a healthy individual. So there are expectations that are vaccinated or immunization expectations at every level. Here you see what's expected for pre-K. So if you're a pre-K family, you want to make sure that all of these immunizations are satisfied. There is some wiggle room. The state allows about 30 days for students to get the immunizations completed after the start of school. If they're not completed, unfortunately, we as principals have to play a really, really bad role, and we have to expel students who do not have their immunizations. There is an exemption available for those who qualify, but all of that information can be accessed on the CMS website. But there's a list of, I'm not a doctor, so I can't interpret what the immunizations are required, but there is a whole list there, and your physician, your child's primary care doctor's office can satisfy those and send in the right documentation, okay? So also, if your child, and this is very, very, very important, if your child has any health or medical related needs, this is something you want to communicate before the start of school. So open house is the best time to communicate with the teacher, and also ask for the nurse. Ask to speak to the nurse and communicate those needs. Depending on your child's health need, the school and the nurse may be required to complete a what we call a health plan for your child. So that may be relevant, especially if if your child has asthma, diabetes, requires like an EpiPen for an allergen. This is something that's really, really important. So make sure we communicate those things right up front before the start of school if possible. And then also, to continue being healthy, our diet is very significant. So one of my favorite things about being an elementary school principal, it's the school lunch. The school lunch is fantastic. Hot lunch and breakfast is prepared every day by a fabulous cafeteria staff. Breakfast is free for everyone. Lunch, however, there is a $2.75 cost per meal. However, there's applications available if anyone needs help with that expense. Free and reduced lunch applications are available, and based on your qualifications, will determine whether the lunch is free or reduced or not at all. But this is available online at the CMS School Nutrition Services website. Dietary restrictions are also, if your child has a dietary restriction, lactose intolerant, we do not serve any peanut products at all, but you can talk to the cafeteria manager and we can put a dietary restriction, and this will prevent your child from purchasing something accidentally that they shouldn't purchase. The next slide is also one of my favorites because it tells us how to how to pay for the meal. The best way to do it is online. You can put a credit card and store it on there, or not. You can pay with a different one every time. But PayPams is a great website, not to be confused with PayPal. I do that all the time. But Pay Pams is a website where you can go in, you can put money on your kid's account. But my favorite part of Pay Pams is you can go in and track and see item by item, purchase by purchase, what your child purchases. So if you put $20 on it, the account on Monday, and it's exhausted by Friday, you can go on and see all of those items and, have a conversation with your child if they're buying ice cream for the class. That was a joke. All right. But PayPams is a great, great resource. And then finally, menus are available. So we know that kids have very, very unique likes and dislikes. The school menu is available on the School Nutrition Services website. You can simply click on Find Your School, and then the menu is laid out monthly. So if you see an item that your kid doesn't enjoy or would not eat or maybe is allergic to, you have the option to send in an alternative lunch. Next slide.
It's Miss Friday again to talk a little bit about social emotional supports that we provide at all of our schools. Your child's well-being is just as important as their academics, and we're here to support the whole child each and every day. We have counselors and a student services support team at our schools. Our school counselors and student services team are available to meet with students. They listen to their concerns. They provide them guidance to help them succeed socially, emotionally, and academically. Our school counselors also present lessons in classrooms to help with our character education. And they also provide small group support for students who may have that need. We have daily social emotional learning. Students participate in 30 minutes of SEL instruction each day so that they can develop lifelong skills such as empathy, conflict resolution, self-awareness, and resilience. And also at select CMS schools, we have a program called Capturing Kids' Hearts, where we help students and staff build meaningful relationships, practice positive communication, and create a safe, respectful learning environment where everyone feels valued. By working together, the school, family, and students, we can create a safe, supportive environment that leads to high academic achievement.
Thank you, Ms. Friday. Christy McCauley here to talk to you about Infinite Campus. I know we are all so excited about this transition that we have made. If you've previously been in the district, you are used to a platform called Power School. The state has transitioned us over to what is now called Infinite Campus. So all parents K through 5th grade will have access to Infinite Campus, and you can create a parent portal. You are going to want to do this on your desktop, or you can do it on your phone as well. Here we go. There is access here on the web. You can go to that next slide. Where you will be able to check announcements. In 3rd through 5th grade, you'll see assignments. You can check all of your students' attendance in 3rd through 5th grade, their grades, and look at schedules as well. All available to you in Infinite Campus. And so getting access to that platform and setting up your parent portal is vital. And so we encourage you to do that today, actually. If you could go to the next slide. All right, so you can go to your Google Play or your App Store on Apple, and you can download the mobile app. This is what it looks like. If you do download the app, so that you can have access to all of those things, and it's quickly there right at your fingertips to be able to check different things that would be important to you, like get notifications about your students' grades, or if there was an attendance, if you had submitted attendance and you were marked absent, but really tardy, so you're able to kind of review those items and keep up with it as well. So it's very, very handy, very, very convenient. We want all families to have created their parent portal by September 30th. That is the CMS district goal. But I would encourage you, and I'm sure my fellow colleagues on here would be, to do that as soon as possible, because we want you to be up and running before school starts, and that you have your parent portal created so you don't miss any communication. On the next slide, I'm going to talk to you about Parent Square. And so I am actually charged with asking you to download 2 apps if you do not already have them, but I promise it'll be okay. Parent Square is our district and school-based communication platform. Parent Square is a really great tool. You can communicate with the school, the principal, the assistant principal, your classroom teacher, a school counselor, and you can do so in your preferred language, which I think is just a beautiful concept. So you can set up your Parent Square account and put that preference in there that you receive notifications in your desired language. So it's a very easy process. You should receive an email from your school asking you to join. If you have not done so already, you can contact your child's school and they can do that for you to help you get up and get started. But this is how your schools will communicate with you. This is how the district will communicate with you to provide you any information that you need throughout the entire school year. So it's very, very important that we get our 2 platforms set up, our parent portal and Infinite Campus, as well as our Parent Square access on our phones and or on our desktop, whatever is your preferred method. And that is all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. McCulley. All right. Well, we also know that this is just the start of a very long relationship with all of you. And we know that you're giving us your heart. And we know that the work that we're doing together means a back and forth collaborative process where we're ensuring that we're communicating and talking to one another. Open house comes next week for all elementary schools on August 20th, and this is a great time to have conversations with your child's teacher, as well as throughout the year, asking specific questions to help support the learning that's happening in the classroom and making sure that we're on top of making progress. Here on the screen, you'll see some questions that we've had that we would encourage you to ask of your teacher. Some of the ones that I would want to highlight are just making sure you know what a typical day looks like. It's really good for our students to go ahead and start practicing that schedule, to have an idea of what that schedule looks like coming in to the school so that they're aware and comfortable. It's a great time to be asking about additional supports, what homework looks like, what other activities and updates you might be receiving in communication. As Ms. McCulley talked to us about Infinite Campus and Parent Square, those communication platforms are a great place to get updates and homework. Additionally, what does your child's progress look like? We've talked about those test assessments and making sure to encourage our families. And then again, what support can you be doing to help your child learning at home? And we talked about this earlier as well. We really want to make sure that you confirm your child's transportation home. It's the most important thing for day one. And so we want to make sure that you're doing that with us. This is something I always ask of every one of our parents as they walk in the building. Like I said, we know you're giving us your heart. And so we want to know what you love about your child so that we can continue to celebrate that, encourage it, and see the whole child as we see the child throughout the school day. We also hope you'll share any information about your student that will help us best serve and meet their needs. We know every child is an individual and has individual needs that we hope to support throughout the school day. On the next slide, we have some things that we would really encourage you just to have with you as you're asking those questions. It is awesome when we see that a parent is prepared and ready for us and there to support. So we would encourage you to bring a notebook. Have that notebook be something that you carry with you throughout your child's elementary career so that you can see where notes and forms and documents will show progress and be ready for open house. We encourage you to continue to follow up. Reach out to your child's teacher or school to address any questions or wonderings. That's what we're here for. We're here to help and we want to support you. So your individual school will be that contact for you. And involve your student. We want to see students feel confident and encouraged and have that autonomy of choice. So open house, make sure your child feels comfortable and engaged in their education. It's a great time to practice those soft social skills that we really want to see in our students. And again, the biggest thing that we'll continue to say is we encourage you to connect. By asking those right questions, you're going to build a strong partnership that starts in kindergarten and goes all the way through elementary school and hopefully encourages those middle school and high school years as well. So we know here at CMS that we're ready to love on your child and support them in their progress. So we just want to make you partners in that work. And so now I'm going to turn it over to Miss Rush, who's going to close us out.
Thank you, Mr. French, and thank you, Mr. French, and thank you to our 4 fabulous Spotlight principals, Principal Friday, Principal French, Principal McCulley, and Principal Saxton. The impact in the community, we are so just pleased to be able to share such wonderful messaging, make sure that our families know what to expect as they attend their open houses, and are prepared to start engaging in some of these important conversations. Families, if you have any questions today, please drop them in the Q&A and we'll ensure that they are addressed before concluding the call. As a reminder, if you have not already done so, please complete today's sign-in form at bit.ly/Family Academy sign-in. This lets us know who's in the room and allows us to make sure that these sessions are meeting your needs as families moving forward and helps us stay connected with you to share any future sessions or events. One question that has come through from our families are, what should we do for any additional resources or to learn more about the Exceptional Children program at your school?
The best thing to do to learn about the exceptional program at your school is to ask for the exceptional program's teacher who's assigned to your school and maybe schedule a meeting and ask all the questions that you have. If your student has an IEP, it's a great way to connect with that teacher, that special ed teacher, and review the goals if possible, unofficially. But yeah, my recommendation would be to reach out to your school's exceptional children's teacher and team as well. There should be a team in place that can support you and answer all your questions and make sure we're prepared to receive your child on day one.
Thank you. The next question that we have is that if a family has enrolled in kindergarten, but they haven't received any placement or confirmation, how should they best follow up?
I'll talk about this since I did the Infinite Campus part. So if you are not alone, want to tell you that and provide that confirmation to you. There are many families that are awaiting their enrollment process right now with the transition of Infinite Campus. There has been a hard transition that's taking a little bit longer than expected. However, we're all very hopeful that this new platform is going to be just tremendous for our families and for you all to have the parent portal access and things like that. So it is taking a little bit longer. What I have done at my school at Hawk Ridge is if families have called and they're awaiting their application process, I've taken down their email addresses and I have sent them my parent communication that would have been sent out already. That way that you're not behind because you haven't received that communication information. A lot of schools also post that stuff on their school website, so you could go onto your school's website and find that information. But please don't worry because that is it is happening across the district. It's happening at all schools. It is a district component that we are all trying to tackle together. But you are always welcome to call your child's school and get kind of the same reassurance from your child's school as I'm hopefully giving you now. But there is a backlog of applications a tremendous amount. So just be patient as we work through this process. But please feel free to call your school. You are always able to reach out to your school and ask them any questions about the enrollment process and where you're at with the enrollment process. And just know that they're a resource to you, and that you are not behind, and that we will get everyone enrolled and you will be ready for school. So I hope that helps.
Thank you so much, Principal McCulley. At this time, we have answered all questions within our Q&A. Families, thank you so much for your engagement today. We are so glad to have you as part of our CMS community. If there is anything that you need, please do not hesitate to reach out to your child's school, your child's teacher, or the CMS Family and Community Engagement Department, and we are happy to support you. We hope everyone has a safe, successful, and happy school year this upcoming year, and a wonderful start to the year. Thank you and have a great day.